Hello YouTube, this is Captain Nav. Hope you're all doing well. In this video today we are going to have a look at how we land the 777 in Flight Simulator. So the first thing I would like to mention is that in order for landing to be successful, you need to be stabilized. So by being stabilized on the approach, I mean we need to be maintaining a VRF plus 5. So in this case is 146 plus 5, 151. Obviously you have the gear down, flaps 30 selected for landing. The thrust needs to be at a good setting. So something like about 60%. We cannot have thrust at idle during the initial approach, and basically we also need to be on the visual path. So most of the time using the ILS, so that means being centered on the localizer and glide slope. Also, if you plan on a manual landing, you need to disconnect the autopilot early enough, by maybe 1 mile, 2 miles at the latest, just to have a feel for the aircraft. You can't just disconnect the autopilot in the flare, for example. That would be way too late. So here in the video I've already disconnected the autopilot. The auto throttle remains engaged, and we are nicely established on the ILS at the correct speed, and the gear is down, obviously. Flaps 30 are selected for landing, speed brake armed, and landing checklist complete. So as far as being well set up for the approach, we kind of tick the box, which is good. So we follow the ILS with the flight director initially, and basically it gives us lateral guidance and vertical guidance towards the runway. Once you start becoming visual with the PAPI, the precision approach path indicator, and basically you have two whites and two reds, then you start looking outside, looking inside at the ILS, still flying the ILS, but also looking outside to start establishing your visual references and maintain the correct PAPI indication. That way you kind of bring the outside environment into your visual scan. At the end of the day, landing is a visual maneuver. With about 2 miles to go, we start looking outside a little bit more now, trying to establish the center line and also the visual aim point that we'll use to start the flare. Also, by now any flight control adjustments or thrust adjustments need to be very small. I mentioned the visual aiming point. If you place your mouse on the screen on the center line, on the touchdown zone markings in between the PAPI lights, then the mouse shouldn't move that much. This will show you are maintaining a good descent angle. We are now getting close to the runway, so we want to cross the threshold, the start of the runway, at 50 feet, and then by about 25 feet start bringing the nose up a little bit. Check that nose up attitude, and the thrust levers come to idle automatically and the aircraft sits on the runway. As soon as we touch down, then apply max reverse thrust. Check that the speed brakes deploy automatically. If not, then you have to do it manually yourself, and let the auto brakes work their magic. Once we get to 60 knots, we stow the reversers and then disarm the auto brakes and brake manually. And that's about it. So just to sum up, once we get to about 50 feet, you'll hear the auto collide 50. So at 50 you should cross the threshold, and that will show you that you are at the right height over the runway. And you get 50, 40, 30. Just after you hear 30, you start the flare. So you start raising the nose of the aircraft by maybe 2 or 3 degrees. Check the attitude, and the aircraft as the thrust levers come to idle, and you maintain the attitude, the aircraft will sit nicely on the runway, and you'll do a nice landing. So I invite you to give it a go, practice your landings, apply the few humble tips shared with you in the video, and I'm sure your landings will be fantastic. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to sunny Dubai. If you found the video useful and informative, then please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more similar content, then please subscribe. I remind you, you can also catch me on Twitch for live stream sessions. So once again, thank you very much, and I will see you soon.